Giant Citizen Kabuto may be perhaps one of the most unique games I've ever played. Released in the early 2000s by an independent developer, it contained a graphical fidelity and ambition greater than most titles released at the time, hampered unfortunately by a range of performance problems tied directly to those graphics and ambitions. Systems of the time simply could not handle the game, an issue which has long been solved with the advent of better technology. So with this old title finally having the systems played as it was meant to be played, how does it hold up? The answer? A healthy bit of pleasantly with a fair lack of polish. The game features 3 different races of wildly different abilities, able to be played in the first or third person within a campaign that has you escalating from one to the next in a story full of slapstick, dry, and often very dark humor.
Wait! She deserved it!
Beginning with the mechs, which are a sort of tech-based future soldier outfitted like Halo's Master Chief. Despite the fact that this game was released a year earlier, these are the most functionally basic of the 3 races. Their campaign largely serves as a long tutorial for the game proper, containing the most story and opening up abilities more gradually, and it does this effectively. From go, it gives a glimpse of the game's slapstick before setting us square in a beautiful island with a draw distance that was unheard of at the time, and still is in some cases. You're set up against a small number of basic enemies called Rippers, nothing more than your pistol, and set to rescue one of a lazy, gluttonous race called Smarties, who are one of the game's focal points. As the levels continue, you unlock more and more equipment and options, from AI companions to order around, to more advanced weapons that range from a variety of explosives, a machine gun, and a sniper rifle, and all sorts of support equipment, not least of which include your jetpack. Same with enemies, and though the Rippers are introduced early and never advance further, the same cannot quite be said of Sea Reapers, a local tribe of ne'er-do-wells with all the weapons you have, plus a couple special cases littered about for kicks. This continuous advancement and new features keep the game from becoming dull, eventually culminating in an action tactical base building section in which you and a team of mechs attack a Reaper base by building up your own, recruiting the local Smarties one after another in order to do so, and keeping them fed by butchering harmless, scattered creatures called Vimps. There are issues, of course. The AI isn't particularly smart, weapons don't have quite the kick you might expect, and while there's a decent variety of enemies, a little too much feels like you're up against these bullet sponge Reapers. A problem perhaps linked directly to that lack of visual weapons oomph mentioned earlier. Still, levels are fun and certainly entertaining. Once through with the main mech levels, you're thrown into the practically nude form of Delphi, a good Sea Reaper of the sorceress variety. Delphi swaps mech weapons with a sword, bow with a variety of arrow types, and a number of spells which range from the utility to the damaging, as well as a jetpack with a powerful jump spell which can have her zooming across maps with minimal effort. Between everything at her disposal, she's far more powerful than the mechs, and when you begin to unlock her abilities, she can be a joy to play. Unfortunately, this is where the cracks begin to show. While Delphi does gain abilities gradually like the mechs, her low-level options are largely not very useful or powerful, and she can feel unwieldy at points because of this, notably when taking on fellow sorceresses, whose high health and range of abilities her low-level skills are unsuited for. Fortunately, it's not long before the game stops playing and allows you her full range of abilities. Unfortunately, this is where the game begins to repeat itself. Not long into her story, you'll get your first base mission, which is functionally similar to the mechs, only you don't have any helpers to order about. There's a few options switched out or unavailable, and you can harvest food for the Smarties from anything you kill rather than just Vimps. It's fun leaping across the map as you try to juggle Smarties and fend off attacks all while you're lonesome. Then you repeat this 2 more times. To break up the monotony, you're given a random jet ski, complete with racing levels. And while this is a cute distraction, races go on for too long. There are far too many of them, and honestly the jet ski doesn't control particularly great for there to be such a focus upon it. So you press through the game, have a alright little boss fight, get a bit more amusing story, and it's on to the final playable race. The Kabuto is enormous and overpowering. Spending the game dealing with damage sponges, it's a nice change of pace to step into the body as something which can thresh through foes like the monster you are. Or that's the idea anyway. The levels start with you as a smaller Kabuto who must eat evil Smarties in order to grow. As you grow, you're able to knock down larger and stronger walls to advance, but progressively more powerful super punch, not to mention become a little stronger, a little tougher, until eventually you can hatch baby Kabutos instead to grow and fight the enemy. Functionally, this only works kind of okay. The Kabuto moves too slow, doesn't hit most enemies, or especially buildings, with enough force. You can grab enemies to eat and gain health, or throw and damage others, though this damage is disappointing and it takes a bit too long to eat, while enemies keep shooting your large target of a self, making a number of battles a constant juggle of grab and eat in order to survive. It just doesn't feel like there's enough to destroy here, and it takes too long to destroy what little there is, which quickly may explain the Kabuto levels a long drag, one unfortunately without the interruption of the story, which up to now has been a amusing diversion. Cutscenes stop as soon as you step into this role and only continue once you're done with it, leaving the endgame feeling rather long and stale. The ending itself, though, does not disappoint. Pulling together an epic climax which returns to form, the title is sure to end on a good note, even if the final battle is a bit wonky.
I couldn't let you go without a goodbye kiss.
There's multiplayer as well, though the community has long dried up and I can't imagine it being close to balance. It's essentially a version of the base building game between the three races with an attempt at balance based on team number, though I can't see mechs able to compete well with the Reapers with their many powerful homing arrows and ability to leap across the map with ease, or the Kabuto who, tough though they may be, are not especially fast and could easily be overwhelmed and outrun. In the end, this is not a game for everyone. There's a lack of polish and finish in the game, most evident in the mid through end game, but also visible in the lack of oomph and too many abilities. Yes, buildings are destructible, but oftentimes the only way to tell if you're hitting an enemy is seeing their life bar go down. If you can forgive some lack of polish, however, you might find a game that is quite fun. The environments are beautiful, even today, and are large and open enough to provide many ways to play all by their own, without mentioning even the different races or ways to play those races. All this combines nicely with a story which keeps things light and fun, allowing for a title I'd definitely recommend to anyone who can accept a couple mechanical hiccups.